It's literally what I'm thinking in real time, and I just do a couple takes and, like, chop it up, and was not sure how that was going to be received, especially by my clients.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the walkthrough. This is Jason, by far the most underrated, valuable marketing show in real estate history. I am Eric Simon, aka Eric Escrow Simon, aka Short Form Simon, because I post short form videos.
We've done a lot better on these. We were like peaking 2 weeks ago, and then I feel like now we've started to regress a little bit.
It's hard to come up with these nicknames. Natalie, do you have any nicknames for us?
Oh, Natty Ice. Oh, for you, for
Oh,
you.
for
You're
you, I
gonna
like
go into
that.
her
Right
list.
in.
All right, now
Um,
we'll get to your nicknames in a second.
oh,
Actually,
no,
we are
that's
joined
all.
here by our great co-host Jason Cassidy, aka I don't know, Carlsbad Cassidy, aka the La Jolla legend.
Oh,
California
those are
Cassidy.
great.
La Jolla Legend's really good. California
Good,
Cassidy, NorCal Cassidy, since I am back home in Sacramento right now,
nice.
hence my parents' backyard setting that I'm in.
I love it. NorCal Cassidy doesn't have a ring to it. There's no alliteration there. But we are joined here by
Whatever.
someone who we have been trying desperately to get on the show for, I would say, over a year now.
Oh,
And I've
please.
been rejected every single damn time. I'll text Natalie every week saying like, hey, Natalie, how does next week for the walkthrough sound? And she'll say, oh, sorry, I have a listing appointment. Okay, cool. How about September 2027? And she'll
Lies.
say, sorry, I
Busy.
have a skiing trip planned for that
No,
Thursday.
Eric is like day before, like not even 24 hours. Hey, walk through tomorrow? No.
I
That's
That
how
think
we
happened
do
once.
it here on the show.
I think it was
We're last minute here.
my plea last week, asking her to come on, saying, "Don't worry about Eric. Please come on for me." And now it happened.
Now it happened.
Now it happened, and thank God it did. So we have from Naples, one of the best agents and content creators in the game, Naples, Natalie. Naples, how you doing? Natty Ice.
Good, Nadia. Good. Thanks for having me. Always,
Thanks for being
always
here.
a good time.
Yes, always a good time. It's great to have you back, and we have an amazing show for everybody today. So first, we're going to reveal Instagram's new unlock feature, which could be an absolute game changer for marketing. Then I'm going to tell you a new hack that is guaranteed, okay, to increase your following. And then we're going to break down Natalie's amazing content strategy and how she's become the queen of Naples and social media. If you like the sound of that,
Clap your hands.
go into your no, don't clap your hands. Absolutely not. Go into the kitchen, get a banana, and smash it against your keyboard at the like button. How about that? Let's get this to 100
Oh,
likes. We hit 70 something last week. We need to get back to 100. Help us out here because we're providing all of this value. Okay, first topic. This is crazy. So Instagram just launched the first official use of unlockable reels. So I will explain what these are in this article from Social Media Today. So after it was posted in testing last month, Instagram has now launched its official use of unlockable reels, which enables creators to share reels that can only be viewed by those who have a code. So Instagram tested this out to its design profile earlier last month. And basically, you will need a hidden lock code. So the new Hidden Reels feature lets you unlock exclusive content with a password. Instagram is testing this new feature as a way to let creators build excitement, which Natalie has done with her content, which we're going to get into, and buzz around exclusive content to help people connect over shared interests and entertaining new content. So it's not broadly available yet, but it will be on its official release. So if you're a business account, meanwhile, you could use it to offer discounts for previous customers or provide region specific updates in conjunction with your off platform client content list. There's a range of ways that brand and creator profiles could use this, while regular users could also use more targeted, intimate content for only certain followers. So basically, you'll be able to post a reel and you could say, you could use the passcode 6969, right, Jason? That's the only one that I would probably use.
Six
And
nine
then
six nine
people
four
could
twenty.
Exactly. And then people could unlock this. So I'll start with you, Jason. Do you think that, like, how could real estate agents possibly use this? I think
Oh,
it's a really cool
I
feature,
think it's
but I
great.
haven't thought about how I could use it yet.
What do you mean teasing new listings, right? Like obviously you could say
Mm,
like, hey, here's, I don't know how exactly it'll work, but if you could like show a couple slots and then say, want to see more, you insert the secret code, and then they have to reach out to you to get the secret code. And now you're lead genning on that. Obviously like showcasing teasers on listing videos and any of your contents one way, but I just think like So one of the oldest school tactics we do when we're running Facebook ads is we do kind of like we take away all the eliminating information. So we don't say the address, the price, we just kind of say location basics. And then you say, hey, click the link here for, the address, the price, and the remaining photos. So you'll put like 3 or 4 photos on the Facebook ad, and then they have to click the link and then to get the unlocked page. And then in that process, they're leaving their name, phone number, email, whatever. Same thing here now. And you've never been able to do that on Instagram. And so now with Instagram, you have this ability to have like a locked reel. Maybe you show them 3 or 4 pictures, you give the general area, and then say for the address, the price, and the rest of the photos, scan this code, insert the code, and now you're collecting. Now there's like a lead gen versus not having to do like a mini chat or anything like that. I think this could be huge. Especially if
Yeah.
you could like do it and then run ad spend to it in like your neighborhood, I could see a huge use case for this.
Imagine doing like the zip code, do 85718 if you're from this area and you want to see this listing. Natalie, what do you
Mm.
think about this? What would you use unlockable reels for?
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to do, use it for events. Being
Yes.
in real estate, right? We're really involved in our community. So if we have a cool event, maybe it's VIP clients, um, and you want them to be a part of the process. A lot of people are engaged on video, obviously, and I think it's a great way to get their attention, kind of like an invitation, kind of like a secret spot. And you have to have this code to know where we're going to meet up and do a run club or do, happy hour, whatever.
That's genius. Events is a perfect way to use this. And then you could say, hey, the only people that are getting this code are in my broadcast channel, or the only people that are getting this code are in my email list. So make sure you subscribe right here. And the next reel I'm going to post is going to have the code to come to my running event in Naples.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's why we have Naples Natalie on, Jason, for
Too smart.
takes like that.
I feel like
This is
everything is moving to in person now that we're past the pandemic, right? So like getting those I mean, you can make so many relationships online, but when you can get somebody in person or both for real estate, for any business, like, yeah.
I think the fact that we were both able to off the top, because I just read this article this morning, like
Yeah.
a few minutes ago that you sent over to me. And so like the fact that we were just off the top able to come up with 2 ideas that are going to be really good ideas tells me that there's probably 50, right? And we just haven't even explored it yet and played with it. But I
Mm.
think this is a really big thing for agents and marketers in general, but agents moving forward.
Definitely. So be on the lookout for unlockable reels. We will break that news, I'm sure, when that is available for everybody. But I love it. New listings and then also for events. That's a perfect way to do it. So here's another, not Instagram news, but an Instagram hack that I have come across from another creator whose name I forgot. So I'm not going to credit this person because I forgot who it was. But I do search on YouTube, Jason, for the show. I do a little research saying, Instagram news 2025 or Instagram hacks 2025. What's going on? A bunch of people pop up in my algorithm. So this guy said the best way to get new followers is to use trial reels. But the best way to use trial reels is to go back on posts from 3 months ago to 6 months ago. Look at your analytics, see what post netted you the most new followers, which you could do on your insights of every post. If one got 15 followers and the other one got 5 followers, use the one that got 15 followers, repost that to your trial reels as many times as you want. And that's going to find the right audience from Instagram that's going to get you new followers. So any post that performed well in the past from the last 6 months that has netted you a lot of followers, post it exclusively as a trial reel, maybe even multiple times, and you will get new followers. How about that? Anyone think about that here?
That's really
Mm-mm.
smart.
Genius.
You've dropped that tip before when we talked about trial reels, though, I think. And so I don't
Yes.
know necessarily where that came from, but you've actually mentioned that before. I haven't done it yet, but it's a really smart idea.
Well, I've
Um,
said
so
just so,
maybe you came up with the idea, and then somebody did a YouTube video about it, and then now
yes.
you're crediting that person again. It's full circle.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what happens. It's called cryptonesia in the comedy world, where you hear another joke or you see another meme and then you post about it again thinking, hey, where did I get this from? But I used to say it in the past, just do it with something that got good engagement. But I like doing it based off of a post that got you new followers.
Good
So
point.
does
Yeah.
everyone know how to do that? Do you know how to
Hmm.
do that, Natalie, in terms of looking to see if a post got more followers?
Yeah, so I know how to use the insights now, okay?
Okay.
I'm still elementary in a lot of this stuff, I will say, as far as the analytics go. But I have yet to do a trial reel, and now this is an incentive to do it as an experimental way. The trial reels, though, just to be clear, and I'm sure everyone listening already knows the answer to this, but I don't. So, do I have to, if I post it, it's not on my feed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's just being sent out as a test to Instagram to
Test.
say like who's going to like this, and then you
Yep.
can add it to your feed later on.
Okay.
But for the people listening that don't understand how to do your post insights, you just go to any Instagram post, you click view insights, and then you scroll up a little bit, and then it shows follows under profile activity, so you can see how many people followed you from that specific post. So
Great.
that'd be a way to do it.
I had this epiphany on trial reels this week actually, and I'm going to test it out this week. So we'll circle back in 2 weeks and get the feedback. But you're starting to see. So me personally, right? I have my Instagram account, and then I've got In San Diego TV, and then like a Katie Day has her account, and then she's got Houston Unlocked. Right? Some of these hyper local people are like branching off separate channels, and so it occurred to me, I'm like, why am I not just running these reels as trial reels on my page instead of having a whole new channel? Because then I can Instagram, what they do with the trial reels is they try to match algorithmically to people who would like that content who aren't following you. So if the
Yeah.
problem is my followers don't care about San Diego content, why don't I just try all of these local ones as trial reels, see which ones pop off, and then run those on my page, and then run the ones that don't pop off or don't run them, or run those on the other channel. So I'm going to test out trial reels for hyper local content on someone who already has an agent page who doesn't do well with hyperlocal content.
Yeah, that's a really smart idea. And in the past, I've always tested out content on other platforms, whether I would post a meme to Facebook or Twitter first and see what the feedback was like. But now you can just do that on Instagram. So it's really an amazing feature that I think is very underutilized and underrated, that I only used a couple times. And when I did pick up 50, 60 followers from those specific posts. So make sure to use trial reels.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. That's how you're going to stand out from the crowd. And if you are looking to do that, Reminder Media is a resource you have to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content. Reminder delivers these to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. Use the link below to check out Reminder Media. Okay, we brought in Naples Natalie for a reason, Jason.
Just
And that's
a
because
solo show. The highest honor in this
I
walkthrough
mean,
it
world
are
is a
you
is.
solo
kidding
show.
me?
Yeah.
I feel like, when it was just the three of us in the text chain, I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's right. And the
It's
reason
amazing.
why it's a solo show is we want to focus on your content. So I pulled 5 pieces of content. Everybody go, Natalie, what's your Instagram handle for everybody so they can follow along
Natty,
here?
NATTYPB, like peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Natty PB.
Natty PB, not Natty Ice. Go follow her right now because she has some of the best variety and hyperlocal content, comedy content, new listings, everything. She's got one of the best Instagram profiles in the game. So I want to lead it off with this. I have never seen someone do this before, but you used another property as a hook to promote your property.
Can we all agree that the mark really missed their mark? Who wants to pay almost $3 million to look at Gulfview Middle School kids run track? This is insane. Let me put you on to the best thing coming to Naples. 3300 Gulf Shore Boulevard. Mid-rise condos with Gulf views, bay views, boat slips for purchase. These units will be brand spanking new in a much more desirable location. First level floor in this building has an elevation of 24 feet. So if you get water in your house, then Naples is just underwater. Part of the amenities is an experience shower. Inside the condo, that's an experience in itself, am I right? Freaking stunning. Brought to you by Coulter Urban. They're breaking ground in October of 2025. I believe it's a 2-year build out. Do not wait on this, okay? Because once they sell a certain number, the prices are only going up. Reach out for details.
So I first off love just the organic car post. You do a lot of posts from your car, and I just think it makes your post super relatable. But what was the thought process behind using another development than to promote this development?
Honestly, first of all, thank you. That means a lot. The car is where I go because it's what I do all day, right? I'm driving around. I finally got a magnet tripod for my car because I'm like, when I have an idea in between showings, whatever. Um, I got the idea because I have a buyer who, these things filter into his collection. And we both laughed at like, how are there sales in this building? Like you're looking at the middle school track team, and this price point. And then there's this new development happening. And I went to the presentation and I was like, all right, this is pretty comparable for, pretty much the same cost at their starting price. So I just had an idea and ran with it. I mean, I had 2 takes of that and I was like, screw it. I'll put something together. And it did perform well. And I actually got organic traffic from that. It was actually the first ad I ran after I was getting the organic traffic because I was using it as a test. Like, does anyone even watch these things? And I got two people reach out directly to my email, which isn't the highest conversion, but I'm still talking to them. They didn't ghost me. I'm building a relationship. One of them, it wasn't the right fit, and the other one's like on the fence, which is totally typical, even at the leads we get right online and open house, whatever. So I ran it as an ad on Instagram and didn't have much success, but I'm happy that I did it because you just never know.
Just
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
just hope you never get a listing appointment in the mark.
I know. Well, that's the other thing. Like someone on our team was like, "Oh, we just sold in there." I'm like, "Oh shit." But you know what? It's different strokes for different folks. Obviously, those units are great too, but it's a way to it's also a way to show two different options in Naples, right? Two different options. Maybe someone loves that and they didn't even know about it. And I'm at least giving some value, and they're both newer developments. So it also shows that Naples is having a lot of growth.
You guys would know this better than me, but I feel like this only works with developments because you're not making fun of a specific house
Yeah.
that a seller could be upset about. It's kind of like, why live in this development when you can live in this one that's cheaper and has better views, right, Jason? I feel like
But is the mark already an established building?
It is. Those are now
Yeah,
resale.
see, I
And
think
I
those are
I
resales, judging by what I saw.
and I didn't show the agent, the owner, the address. I just showed the picture, and this is just my opinion. And you know what? Our best stuff on social is usually opinionated.
Yeah, it's
sure.
controversial, right? Because then, like, anybody else seeing that could be like, "Oh, she's shitting on the mark." Da, da, da. But I see
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing. It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I've just never seen something like that before. Just like using another property to compare it. I just thought that was really good.
I think a
And
Definitely.
lot of
then
agents hesitate. I think a lot of agents hesitate from doing some of these controversial stuff or posts. And I find that might be my niche, and the kickback. Look, I have a buyer who would have bought the mark, but the reason he doesn't like it is because he's looking at the track. So I'm kind of working off of real time clients.
yeah, and that's where the best content comes from. Speaking of controversial, you have another video that I thought was really cool about how to hype up a post.
Okay, I know we're gonna have some haters for this video that I'm gonna post on Friday. Old Naples, it gets its name for a reason. It's old. God willing, I close on a property in Old Naples on Friday. And at one point, I was on a rant. I was driving home. I was bitching about Old Naples. The people are old. The buildings are old. The restaurants are new and they're bougie. And when an old bag asks me the day it opens, "Have you been? Natalie, have you been?" "No, bitch. I'm not the one retired. You are." And I've been on the fence. Like, should I post it? Should I not post it? Everyone's going to take it so personally and get pissed, but also give the people what the people want. I'm like, bro, I used to come here barefoot in a bikini with a Cuban from 7-Eleven in hand. My friends rolling a blunt on the beach. And we're like, we didn't even know how good we had it. So I need to know, do you guys think I should post this video? Everyone's got to stick up their ass and they don't even live here. I'll probably do it anyways, but I do love to hear from you all.
So, did you ever post the video about Old Naples?
I didn't, and I might.
Hold on,
think
was there a separate video or was that the video?
No, there was a separate, the one where I'm driving, there's a whole video there, and I was like really on the fence of posting it. Like that was a real moment. I was just going to put it on my story, and I'm like, I'll post this.
I
I'm
actually
going to
think
get
that
feedback either way.
that's a really good video idea in and of itself, is just to have, there is no other video, but that's the video. You know what I mean? And just like the 4 or 5 sentences that you had in there. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought also you brought up real estate. You mentioned like a new listing or something you just closed on too, but it gives whatever you're gonna post a lot of hype behind it because all the comments are saying yes, please post it. Yes, please post it. So that's a really good way to hype up a potential reel. Is just doing a reel about the reel you're going to post and then never posting it is actually kind of funny.
Right.
That's what I
So just
mean.
like, hey, should I post this psychotic thing about a real estate agent that did this? And
Mhm.
everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, yes. And they might go to your page more to see if you actually ever posted that.
Right. And
Or
you
you
know,
can make it
and
exclusive content.
Ooh, that's right. A
yeah.
little.
That's called a
Oh.
that's called a callback.
That's
Oh,
exactly what that's called.
that's a great one. Yeah, and I think with that specific video, like Old Naples in my area, it's awesome. Like there's nothing like it, right? But there is this stigma of like a young person in Naples who who works all the time like us, right? We can't go and try these things. So I have to poke fun at it. And honestly, it's attracted me more business with people I want to do business with who can understand that humor and yet go on a tour to see property in Old Naples and purchase. It's just a personality thing because, guys, at the end of the day, I've said it before, we are not, yes, we sell homes, but we're selling ourselves. We're selling the personality that's going to take somebody through their buying and selling process, hopefully for the rest of their life.
Opinions. Neil Dinger just spoke about this too. Don't post about opinions that you think are popular. Post about your genuine opinions, and that content will always perform better because people could see, okay, this is really what Natalie believes. This isn't just some popular thing that she's talking about.
Yeah.
So I thought that video was really good. I have another one here about millennials purchasing homes that is hilarious.
How the fuck are all of these millennials purchasing homes? We are the generation of FOMO. We have to be everywhere, do everything. We travel. We have subscriptions thrown at us left and right. Inflation is fucking crazy. I don't have enough money saved for a down payment or closing costs. Are you kidding me? And then your Instagram feed is like, I just bought a house. New house. Just bought a new house. And you're like, how the fuck did they do that? You got to save money one of three ways. You got to live rent free if you can. I know you don't want to live on your mom's couch, but you should. Look around your house and start selling shit. What don't you use? I know you got Pokemon cards. You really need 3 TVs. Get a side hustle. Uber. Sell drugs. I don't really care. Save money. Ask that rich uncle who loves you so much. Hey, I want to buy a house. Will you give me a closing gift? I need cash. Hit me up. I do have other ways.
So pause it, keep it up, because I just want people to see the caption. First off, that video absolutely crushed and went, it looks like mini viral in Naples. But the caption says, don't sell drugs. Being a homeowner in 2024 is possible. It's not easy and it will take some sacrifice and strategy. Simplify the process with the right team in your corner. Repeat after me. The best things in life are extra. I've helped countless couples and young families this year with their real estate goals in Southwest Florida. If you're not in my area, but you need help, reach out to me anyway. And then a story, Robbie and I were able to live with a family for 9 months and save money for a down payment and closing costs. We became homeowners at the end of 2022 and we're able to buy down our interest rates, talking about your customers. So the video itself is, a comedy piece that's extremely relatable to millennials. And that's exactly how us as millennials feel, is how are all these people purchasing homes? So you're immediately hitting that demographic, and then you actually bring them in with the value of the caption where it's like, okay, now, but seriously, if you do need help with this, I'm here for you. So I thought that was a brilliant
That was
piece of
a
content.
really well done video. I don't know if you have TikTok or how that did on TikTok. That seems more like a TikTok-y video
Yeah.
just because it's got the jump cuts in it. But I mean, obviously it performed well on Instagram too. It reminded me, I said this to Realtor Caitlin once too, but it reminded me of Jenna Marbles. I don't know if you remember this from like old back in the day, like early YouTube, where she had like the quick jump cuts in between. And obviously you're just like talking to the listener. You're like, how the fuck, you know what I mean? Like I'm in the same boat. How do you do this? And you're hitting all like the inside jokes of like, don't sell drugs and we're going on subscriptions and all this stuff. I thought that was one of the best videos I've seen.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. And no, I need to be on TikTok more. I do not. I'm like a one lane,
No, it's
my head
working
goes
for
in a
you.
million places. Thank you. And
Yeah.
and that one again was a real experience. Thank you for bringing up the caption, Eric, because I was a little bit I wasn't sure if I should post that because I had just had a conversation, and at the very end of that caption it explains, PS, the reason I made this video is because I have a young couple who are still trying. They're trying to be first generation homeowners, which is like, it brings chills to my skin every time. And when they met me, that's what they told me. And we've been in the process for over a year, but they're keeping me updated. Like one of the wife sold like Taylor Swift tickets and actually made money on them and like putting it away. And it's remarkable. And so when I have those, I'm a very like deep person too. And I get emotional, and I have those ideas and I'm like, okay, what's going on in our head? Right. So those types of talking, what are they called? Talking head videos? Yeah. Talking head videos of like, that's literally what I'm thinking in real time. And I just do a couple takes and like chop it up, and was not sure how that was going to be received, especially by my clients. And they were like, this is everything. It was one of those, like I had, it's risky, you guys, to post some of this stuff. And if you're going through that, like reach out to me because I totally get it. But
It,
it's working.
I don't think it's that risky. I think maybe the swear words make it risky, but outside of that, I don't think it's that
Oh,
risky. Like I did a
the
whole
swear
video about how
words.
millennials got screwed and how our parents and the boomers basically like got on the lifeboat and then raised the ladder and left us out to dry. Like I've done that video before too, but it only gets risky because you have the swear words in it, and somebody might not like that. But like I think the video is very poignant for what people are going through right now.
It's also such a unique piece of content for a real estate agent when most agents are posting, new listing just sold. Here's why you should buy now. The market's great. Inventory levels are up. So it's all these things about why you should do the thing that is so impossible. And this, you're calling direct attention to the problem that all millennials feel, which is the insane financial burden that we have. And those kind of thoughts do pop in your head where it's like, oh, should I move back in with my parents right now? Like I've thought about that. Like I could produce a ton of content there. I have a wife, so she would obviously hate that. But what subscriptions should I cancel? Like you were hitting every single note of the kind of millennial fear that we all have. So
Right.
throw this video like if you're enjoying Naples, Natalie, and all this content.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes,
to that
please.
One? I think I just lost my train. Oh, in Naples, right? If you guys have seen that, we've had some huge sales here recently, and yet we have the most inventory, and it's a really slow market at the same time. But Naples and the people that I'm around a lot, have this stigma of it's really high end net worth individuals. And what's important to me is all of those buyers and sellers who might not get as much attention. Like it's normal here too. I mean, I was born and raised here in a middle class family, so that was also the message to my audience that I've created through my local content of like, I know you're out there. Naples is getting younger. I see you out, out at the bars or at the beach. You're not alone, basically.
Yeah. I love that. Love that message. And take that risk with content too, by the way, Jason. I think even though, like Jason said, it's not necessarily that risky of a piece, the curse words, but you're going to hit a different demo that's going to like you even more when you do stuff like that. But if you don't take these risks, you're never going to know what the extra level of content that you could reach is. If you're just staying in your lane and you're thinking, okay, well, this worked. I'll just keep kind of going down this path. You're never going to see, oh, people love this. Now I could double down on this, post it as a trial reel, and get more followers. So there you go.
Both of I'd say the first video and the third video both could have potential risk in the sense that,
yeah,
but the people who are going to watch that and discover you and want to work with you is like 90-10 reward versus risk in those. Whereas,
Totally.
Most people just don't want to put out anything that has even 1% of risk. You put out something with 5 or 10% of risk, but that's still 90% reward. And probably like double reward for people because they're like really going to like you when they see that type of stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
You could feel it in your gut too, especially people that produce a mass amount of content like you, Jason, myself, and Natalie. Like obviously if I'm doing memes, there's a line of, okay, is this kosher? Is this too edgy? Is this insulting to a specific demographic? Like what am I doing here? But you start to develop that muscle and that instinct as to, no, this is going to hit the perfect edge amount. Or early on in the days when I, 2015, 2016, I was trying all these different things and I didn't have that gut feeling yet. It was like, okay, let me test it out. Oh, this one sucks. I need to pull it immediately. Otherwise, my account's going to get banned, basically. Not banned, but otherwise people are going to start to hate me. So you do develop that instinct. Another thing that you do amazing, Natalie, is you have a podcast. And this podcast is different than what a lot of agents think they should do in a podcast. A lot of agents kind of want to do what Jason and I are doing, which is talking to other agents about how to sell more real estate. That's not going to get you real estate leads. That's going to get more real estate agents to follow you. But you have a podcast that's specific about Naples community, right? The Naples community.
Yes. And shout out to the podcast crew. I'm in the studio right now.
There you go. What's the podcast called?
Everybody Loves Naples. Like
okay.
Everybody Loves Raymond. And
awesome.
I do it with my co-host Lance Martinicchio, also a Compass agent here in Naples. We have different backgrounds, and our banter is a lot of fun. It's like kind of brother and sisterly. We kind of can't stand each other. It's very, it's unfiltered for sure, and it's fun. So yes, we have guests on, local community leaders, business owners, what have you, and we talk about why they love Naples and what they're adding to the value or what value add they have.
And I scrolled through a bunch of your posts on Instagram in prep for this episode. And there's so many good clips that it's not even you producing the content. I mean, it's you producing the content because it's your podcast, but it's your guests talking about what they love about Naples. So instead of having the burden constantly on you to say, my favorite places to eat are this, this, and this, it's your guests where you are kind of lobbing them the questions. So I'm going to just play a clip. Let's do one about being younger in Naples. And I believe this was a young restaurant owner.
You're a young person living in Naples, having a thriving career, working your ass off. I mean, none of it's easy. Yeah. That's what I know. How is it like living in Naples
at our age?
I think there's challenges with that, but it's only getting better.
Yep.
I think younger people, Sugar Shack down the road are just opened, and that's a huge venue that we're gonna see a lot more people coming in and out of this area. I picked Naples because I think right now the airport is small enough where you can be like in and out of Fort Myers and anywhere within a few hours. And so I love traveling, and that's kind of how I balance the Naples life, is by traveling.
Right.
It's easy to get in and out.
Yeah.
And have you met a lot of people, obviously through work and things?
Of course.
But yeah.
I have a great friend group here, and I would have never expected to meet so many like similar minded people.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see here. I think for me, it's a lot about hospitality, but there is a really great group of talented people that really care in this area, and you don't find that in a lot of big cities. There's something special here, and I
so
truly
pause it and keep it up. Just look at this first comment. It says, lived here for 20 years, 40 years. I always wanted to leave when I was younger and moved to London for 6 months. I've been all over the world, and I have to say that we absolutely live in paradise and are blessed. So it's people hyping up Naples in the comments. And I just thought that was a fun conversation, because it seems like a note on your page is to attract more younger people and millennials, because people think of Naples as an older demo.
For sure. And to have Kayla Pfeiffer on was an awesome achievement of our own. Honestly, she's like the hottest chef in the area. She was just nominated for a James Beard Award, and she has her own spot here. And she's like, yeah, I want to do it. I mean, it's just cool to see coming back, being in Naples again for 4 to 5 years and selling real estate, that it's not all retirees and secondary homes. It's primary residents in their 30s and 40s. It's neat.
And this is a totally different way than the interviewing restaurant owners like in their place, which I think you do too. Like there was another clip of you in some sort of comedy cellar where you were interviewing either the owner of the club or something like that. But I just think it's a cool way to hype up your community. Jason, any thoughts on the
Yeah,
pods
like
that I've been talking
I
about?
think it was Tom Ferry or maybe it was Jimmy Mack. Someone said that like basically agents need to stop doing podcasts as we're saying this on a podcast, but like the only feasible thing that an agent should do would be this type of podcast where it's about your city, because then it's a plethora of content for you, right? You get to interview all these owners and even pull like the Ken Pozek, Alyssa Kernett, right? Like those type of things where you're like now like breaking news stories about the new businesses and the new Costco's and all this. Like you just have a wealth of content that's about your neighborhood. And so like this is the only type of podcast agents should probably be doing at this point if you're trying to like grow business. But yeah, I've heard other agents say it too, where there's like people want to love their city. Like they want to talk about their city. They love talking about new developments and things that are happening. And so by giving this forum for people to talk about Naples, like you're the center of the Naples universe now, like if as this grows and gets bigger. So that's a smart idea. I mean, obviously, like shout out to you for like managing a full-time real estate career and now a podcast about Naples, and being a content creator. You're probably wearing a lot of hats right now.
It's a lot. Luckily I have a producer now. This is Jay's home studio and he's out of town. Thanks, Jay. Shout out. He's doing a lot of the editing and helping us out. But, I think in our world these days, right, things are growing. Time is moving so fast. We have so many distractions. It used to be that, whoever in person, right? If you go to the same place every day, if like you start to know your community in person. And my goal is to do that while also touching, different people, different audiences online, because now I know Kayla, not just from a phone, not just from social. I know her in person. I got to spend an hour with her and get to know her. And that is so valuable selfishly to me, to have that relationship and a platform that allows me to get those relationships faster than I probably could on my own.
Is this a once a week thing?
We batch our content. We do 2 to 3 episodes a month, and we release bi-weekly. We took on a very attainable goal when we started, and I'm grateful for that because, again, it's a lot of work, and kudos to you guys for doing it every week.
It's not easy.
It's
I'll tell you. I mean, Jason's been doing the walkthrough for 6 months, 7 months. I don't know.
Just under a year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I had the Overask podcast with Matt, and anyone who hosts a podcast, does a podcast, knows it's very difficult to come up with weekly content. But I love the fact that you set an achievable goal You could do one of these once a month, by the way, if you're listening, or you could do it once every 2 months. It doesn't have to be a weekly thing because you're going to run out of people to talk to. That's a very difficult thing to do. Thankfully, with marketing, there's always new topics, but I think making something achievable is really helpful when you're mass producing that podcast. And I'm sure the ROI for you, like you said, is more built in the relationships that you have with these business owners that come on, right? Or do you get listeners that also reach out to you for real estate leads, or kind of what's the lead gen like with this?
Yeah. So I've personally gotten one sale from the podcast so far, directly from the show. Like, hey, I'm moving over from Miami. I was researching Naples. You guys came up. I'd love to meet. And it was awesome. Young people as well. But in hindsight, really, we're concierges as real estate. So it's like, if you want to know the 5 best spots to go to eat, or the, 5 tips on hurricane proofing your house, right? Go listen to this episode and we can chat about, follow up with me with questions. It's another way to maximize our time. And it's also intertwined with my content. It gives, obviously I'm silly. I've got an outgoing comedic personality, a lot of my content, but this stuff's also like, I can sit down and have a conversation, and I'm professional too. That's my hope, right? And I can't control what people think of me, but I use the podcast to keep my creative side moving. As you know, I was in the acting entertainment industry prior, so this is also, it scratches that itch for me as well, media in general. And it's really, at the end of the day, it is the warm introduction to people that I meet in the real world in Naples. If I go out to eat, the warm introduction has already been done. Likely they've already seen some piece of content, whether it's my own or they follow Kayla Pfeiffer and they saw that she was on our podcast. She's like, oh, you look familiar. I follow your stuff, or whatever. It's like, it's the best segue into meeting people in real life.
It is. This is how you do a podcast if you're in real estate. Everyone check out. It's called Everyone Loves Naples, correct?
Everybody loves Naples.
Everybody loves Naples. All right. If you want to dominate online like Natalie, you have to check out experience.com. If you haven't heard of it, this is the platform that gives real estate agents a free profile that boosts your visibility on Google search and maps. We're talking 93% of users showing up on the first page of Google. From one dashboard, you can manage your entire online presence, collect and showcase reviews, track customer sentiment, and even share client feedback straight on social. And did I mention that it is gamified, because reputation management is way more fun when there is a scoreboard? So if you want to show up higher, look better online, and actually control your digital reputation, hit the link in the description to check out your free profile right now. Speaking of profiles, I have a hack right here. I just got this text from friend of the show, Kristen Clowry, who we need to have back on, by the way, Jason. She sent me this.
I'm muted, but I love Kristen. She's the best. Shout out to Kristen.
She's great.
London, Ontario.
Shout out, Kristen. She said, do you have a discount code for BAMX? No, that was not the text. She said, and no, we don't, by the way. She said, I use your tip and put the number of years I've been in the business into my Instagram profile, and I just got a listing because of it. So thank you for the 10K. I think she's putting the cart before the horse here, counting the chickens before they hatch, because she hasn't closed the listing. But this is the move. We all talk about in the real estate community how it's annoying when another agent mentions their experience. And yes, that is within conversation, right? Like if Jason and I are doing a deal together and he says, look, man, I've been in the business 12 years. I've never seen this before. That's, an appeal to authority. That could be frustrating. But to have it in your Instagram bio is smart. If you've been in the business, I don't know, 8+ years, people want to work with experienced agents. So put that in your bio. And all she put in her bio was making real estate fun for 17+ years. And a client was looking at her probably in comparison with another real estate agent. Maybe one had that and she had 17+. And they were like, you know what? I want to work with someone who sold a bunch of real estate.
Great hack. Good job, Kristen. Go close that deal.
Good job, Kristen. Go close that deal. Natalie, do you have your experience in your bio?
No, I don't, because I have not been doing it for over 8 years.
Okay.
But I will say, and I made a YouTube video on this way back when, and I haven't done YouTube in forever, so like skirt that channel. But I remember feeling defeated because I was like, man, like, everyone brags about their experience, and they should. I just don't have it. But then I looked at my transaction count and I was like, I've got a high transaction. I mean, pretty high for the time I've been doing it, right? So I'm like, I think maybe that's something I add, is like almost closed. Like 80+ transactions closed. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, 80 plus transactions in 3 years or whatever, the amount that you've been selling real estate. I like your profile. It says, have a laugh and bring me an offer. I think that just immediately sets the tone for what sort of content you're going to see. This stuff is important, folks, is putting the stuff in your bio that's actually going to tell you what you're going to get from it. And these little tweaks can actually land you deals.
Totally agree.
Agreed.
Any final thoughts? Jason, I'm in a little bit of a content rut right now. Maybe it's because I was just gone for 7 or 8 days. But what do you do when you're
supposed to come
back?
You're supposed to come back refreshed, I thought.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I don't feel refreshed. I feel exhausted and jet lagged.
Always.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I get into content rut, it's usually because I don't have like any listings going on. You know what I mean? Like I don't have anything to promote per se, and then I just end up talking about the macro, which is not what we want to. Like the macro Compass versus Zillow. Like I start weighing in on all this, and then I'm like, what am I doing? I need to sell some houses. So don't follow my advice.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had listings in 10 years, so imagine how hard it's been for me to produce content.
I would go follow Natalie's page is what I would do, because she's doing it at a high level.
Very nice. I don't have a content schedule. I'm probably the worst example. I'm like, whenever I'm have a thought, and then I just, because it has to, I think, to Eric's credit and what you just said, is like, it has to feel genuine when you do the kind of content that I make. I'll post the real estate listings in the, the photos that we pay for, right? We have a lot of listings right now that are sitting. So we're shoveling out a lot of marketing dollars. And I'm like, well, I'm going to at least post this, like they're beautiful pictures, but they don't ever perform as well. And that's fine. But I think I've got a lot of stuff that I've realized in my drafts that I have not posted. So maybe I go clean out some of those and see what I can find in there.
There's always gold in the drafts. One more piece of advice, Natalie. You mentioned earlier that you bought something for your camera, because I bet some people are wondering, or for your car. I bet some people are wondering what it is that what do you hook it to your windshield? What is that?
It's actually a mount that goes on your dash. And I put it in the corner, kind of where the windowsill or the windshield meets the car door. So it's like not obstructing my view. And it's a magnet. So if you have like the iPhone with the MagSafe, it just goes right there. And I keep my little Rode Me mic on me so that, again, a lot of times I have 30 minutes in between one appointment to the next, but I don't have enough time to go to the office, open my laptop, and get some work done. So I'm like, let's just roll for 10 minutes and see what happens. And it works. Also, the lighting in my Tesla is like perfection. Okay. So that's another tip. If you want great lighting, go get a Tesla.
Go get a Tesla.
So get the magnet, get a Tesla, and get a Rode mic. Get a Rode mic. All right. Thank you. Everybody go follow Natty PB right now for amazing content. It's great to have you back on the show. We'll see you in 2028, I assume.
Oh, please.
For your next appearance. Jason, great show.
Great
Make
job.
sure we throw this video a like, everybody. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, get in our BAMX community. And next week, we got a buyer presentation webinar with Chris Benjamin.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out Chris. If you saw our listing workshop a couple of weeks ago with Sharon and Andrew Undum, you know that our webinars are on a hot streak right now. Did you guys watch that one?
I did. Yeah,
I watch all the recaps in the newsletter.
Oh, there we go.
Chris is the man, though. Don't miss that one.
Don't miss that one. All right. We will see you next week on The Walkthrough.